It's Thursday. It's season finale here. It's a 2-hour episode, and it's with the Lightfoots right over here in Wolfville. We had fun doing that. Their champagne was quite something else. It's a good episode to watch. Thursday night, 2 hours. Make sure you get a lot of goodies, a lot of chippies and pop and some Pepsi. Sit back and have a drink and watch. Maybe some Lightfoot wine, maybe. That's probably what would be better. Maybe their champagne. But anyways, as we get rocking and rolling here, I have put the grate on the side. And when I first started the grate, I just cut it straight. And when I put it in there, the grate, the lines were straight up and down and cut like that. Yes, they were. And when I put it in there and we turned the camera off, Jolene goes, I don't want it like that. Because I want diamonds. So to make diamonds in this, I had to 45 it. So in order to 45 it, it took more material to 45 it than it did just to cut it straight. I measured it. A couple people said, why didn't you make it in one piece? I thought of that, but I thought it might be too hard if I made it in one piece to get it to fit all the studs. It was still half a chore to make it fit the studs anyways. But when I cut it in 45, it took more material, and the material that I had was only a 2x4 sheet. I bought it at not Home Depot. I bought it at the Environment Depot, and it was some kind of grate. That stuff is, I imagine it's quite expensive if you went to buy it or try to find it somewhere. It's stainless steel, and it's, it'll be something to make actually. But as we put it in there, it's just almost like you think about building a house. Soon as you start adding corners and 45s, it starts costing you more money. You build a square house, yes. You start putting a bedroom on and adding a 45 or a square, it costs you more money. When Mr. Bugatti 45'd his mesh, he obviously didn't care. He wanted it the way he wanted it, and he used as much material as that he wanted to, because that would use more material that way than cutting it off straight. So we didn't have enough material for that, but we did have enough material to cut them off separately, which we did. As I have the hood on there, I'll take it off so you can take a look at it. And I'm just putting the hood off and on so I can take a look at it and visually stimulate myself. If you cannot please yourself, how do you expect to please somebody else? Ask yourself that. But anyways, as we get going here, this is what it looks like. What I'm going to do now, as that looks like that, there's these little tiny hold downs that you get with valve pan covers. They're chrome, and I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of those on each one of the studs and make them fit. And what they look like, they're about that long. They got a hole in the center, and what they do is you put the bolt in, it holds the valve pan cover down tighter than, or spreads the pressure down evenly, and then that's what I might do around there to make that look like that. Now what has to happen is these have to come off. I can fill all this out now. I can, run my mud on top of that, smooth it out, make it smooth. I still have got to run my scissor trusses in here, cut this metal off here, scissor truss that. I have inner fenders I've made from a long time ago. Back when, Anyways, there's the inner fender. That's what it looks like. I don't know where this goes. I'm not sure, but it goes in there somehow. And it goes down in there like that. There's the inner fenders. I haven't got them completed yet, obviously. Them are just a pattern there, so them have to be tried in. And what I'm doing right now, this cross member has to be cut out. That was for the 4-liter Jeep. That has to be cut out. And right now, as I have the hood off, there's no better time than to measure something when the engine is so close. Jolene's engine's in here. And I'm just going to measure on this thing. I measured it before, but I know 27 is the top of that. 27 is the top of that. It might be 26 3/4. 27. As it sits right here, we can get a little more height on it if we want to. I'm sure we can with a wheel or a tire. So 27, so we'll have 1, 2, 3. We'll have 4 inches from the ground. Could you count that, did you? Did you see that? See where 27 is? And then count up to 31. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, so we'll have from 27. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try to get 4 inches is what we'll try to get for sure. We might make a belly pan for it maybe. That's good, you know, to me. I mean, let's face it, we can get a higher tire and make it sit up a little bit more. As I run back here, the length with the fan on, I want to go back to the head. I want to leave a little room. I want at least 37 at least, or 30, 37 and a half, 37 and a half. And this is the stuff you have to do, you know, to know if you're going to get it. So, if we take a look here, 37 and a half, 38. That's in front of the fan. So that should go in there. It's not going to leave me much room for a radiator. We have our, you know, here at Hiltz Auto Co, we have a radiator that we usually order every time, and it's a 65 to a 68 Mustang radiator, V8 radiator. I think it's 18 by 22. I think it's the smallest. We use it every time. I think it's the smallest radiator for the V8 that we have found. It's the smallest one we have found. If I have to change, or if I have to pull it back a little bit, I have no problem severing out this firewall. This does not mean a whole lot. It's just something to go by. It's a start. So if I have to go back in there a little ways, I don't mind that. It doesn't bother me because I can make new. I'm sort of thinking, as I seen the MGA over there, how they made theirs. As we have a firewall here on the MGA, there was a construction that went from this side of the frame to that side of the frame that bolted to the firewall. I really feel like that would be a nice piece to have involved in this, you know, to have a construction that goes on the inside or the outside, but yet have it bolted to the frame all the way around to the other side. Just so when you put the car on, it's not only bolted down to the body mounts itself, it's bolted to the cross member that holds it to the other side of the frame up inside the firewall. How, you know, I'm just thinking how much more rigid that would make everything. And it would not interfere with anything if that's what you're trying to build. Yeah, so that's where we're at with that. I'm happy with the grates. It'll look a lot nicer once it's finished down in there. It's just going to be a little bit of work to get down and forth there. I've cut my back on them motor mounts a couple times. I might just cut them off for a bit. I don't want to take the cross member out of there yet because it's something that's holding it in place. So I want to leave it until I do a little bit more work, then I'll cut it off. Makes sense to me. I just don't want to go wee wonky. I was telling Jolene here a little bit ago that, I'd like to paint or prime it, have it ready for primer on Christmas Day. That can be her Christmas present. You know, this is what and she's a big enough girl that I think that she would understand. Right, baby? Yeah. And maybe we can try to get this thing painted by Christmas Day or something. It's only a week away, is it not? What's that? Yeah. Yeah, so we've tried to get this in primer. That means prime the doors, get the mudded out, get some primer on the other side, get the front mudded out, get all the gaps looking pretty good, re-sand it all, and then spray it with some primer. We'll show the primer that we use. We'll give some card content on Christmas Day. Huh? So that's pretty well, you know, where we're going. On the hood, at the present moment, there's a little hole right there. I had a bar that was welded across there before. I was trying to hold everything in place. As the hood goes on, I find it stands up in the back a little bit. So what I'm thinking on doing, now that I've got this cut in here, I might weld a tab on the hood, on the back of the side of the hood, right down the bottom in the back. When it sits, when I put it on, the tab is going to go inside this hole, and then when it comes down, it's going to lock it down because it's going to sit in that channel. And then when it comes to the front, it's coming down. Then I'm going to have a strap maybe go across here to the other side that holds the front down, because there seems to be a little bit of gap there, a little springiness there and a springiness there, and I think that'll give it a nice haul down. It will not come off once it's buckled there and pinned there. And you can imagine how much lighter that would make something the less that you put on something. The less you put on something, the lighter it is. Yeah. What's that now? Also, Jolene has decided today, she's decided today, that she would like to have fender skirts on it. Fender skirts, I don't know if we'll have them primed by Christmas or not. We might, you never know. But anyways, we're going to make some fender skirts for this. And if I recall, I think they make this funny shape here, and they come all the way around, and I think they go around to about here somewhere and feather off. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some fender skirts for it. And we'll show you exactly how we do it. Piece of piss. I won't even have a nervous pee on that one. I'll just do it. I've been through it, you know. It's going pretty good. There's still lots of stuff that have to be done. We're working outside right now because we're supposed to be getting a storm. We're getting the snow right now. We got some of the cars put away, some of the cars changed. We got the old Jaguar pushed into the garage there. We got one taken out. The old 48 started right up. God bless that thing. God bless that thing, that old 48 Chev. It did a good job. It started up and went right in the old building, no problem whatsoever. Geez, we had excitement this morning down at the end of the driveway. We had some Mounties chasing somebody down, and it reminded me of the one on the internet that I seen, that they were having a big bar fight, and the fellow was still drinking beer and never paid no attention. That's exactly what I did. I just kept drinking my beer. Never paid no attention at all, but there was some excitement down there. We didn't want to film that for you. Justin Fitzpatrick would have fit right in. He'd have had the cameras up and everything, wouldn't you, Justin? All right, it's Thursday night, and it's season finale tonight. Yeah. Watch it.